Part 5, The Ultimate Secrets of Center to Edge Aiming. This will be the last video in this series, and perhaps the most interesting, because I'm going to offer an analysis of what I think occurred for Efren Reyes as he was doing an exercise prior to one of his U.S. Open matches a few years ago. I had a student that came to me. He's been here multiple times, and he understands the Pro 1 visual sweeps and centered edge aiming system very well. So he shared with me what he observed Efren doing prior to a match. What Efren was doing was a right cut and left cut in alternating fashion, and he did this 20 to 30 minutes very intensely prior to his match. So I'm going to just shoot a couple shots, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of analyzing of what I think occurred and make some additional comments. But the shot was something like this as a cut to that corner. So in order to shoot this ball, there's going to be a right sweep to occur here. So as Efren was shooting this shot, his cue was coming out to the right, his foot was going parallel to the shot line, his left foot, and then the cue is across my face, and I'm certain it was across Efren's face. So I'm in a distorted look here at the contact point line. Then he would alternate to the next shot, which was a left cut to that corner. So what he was doing was doing a right sweep. Then he would do a left sweep. Now on this shot here, rather than the cue being pulled out to the side, the cue was actually pulled into the side, which is a strong indicator of a pivoted cue. So I'm starting off with a 15 here. I'm going to do a left sweep, and the foot is actually going to turn around to the left in this fashion. I guess it'd be left to right, so that it's parallel with the shot line. So there's my perception. Here comes the obvious left sweep that was occurring. The student was totally clear that this is what was occurring. So there was a left turn right into the shot. Now the cue's into my side. I'm at center cue ball. I have a view of the contact point area here. And Efren proceeded to shoot shots like such for 20 to 30 minutes. Then he took a quick restroom break, and he came back, and he shot one rack, and he shot every rack like warp speed, as this student described it to me. Then he proceeded to win the match. I think it was 11-1. I think that was the score. Now, this fellow's a poster on AZ, and hopefully he'll see this video, and perhaps he'll chime in and say something about it. But I took notes, and I was excited then to have someone that was very astute in CTE to observe Efren doing these obvious left and right visual sweeps. It's no secret that many believe that Efren Reyes and many of the Filipinos are using center to edge aiming. Hal Hool on many occasions told many different people that he worked with Efren Reyes in a California pool room. This would have been back in the 80s. Hal Hool got a call, and a meeting was arranged, and Hal worked with 4 people, and one of the individuals was Efren Reyes. So Hal went over his aiming system with the group that was there. Now, is there any evidence out there that Efren could be using some of Hal's teaching in some way? Well, in Pool and Billiard magazine, there's a paragraph to where a lady professional at the time, Neslie O'Hare, stated that Efren taught her how to aim, and he taught her to aim with the left edge of the cue ball, the right edge of the cue ball, at aim points on the object ball. In other words, Efren had her to divide the object ball up into quarters. I can assure you, if you're aiming the edge of the cue ball at one of the aim points, visual sweeps, physical sweeps, cue pivoting is going to occur. It's impossible for it not to occur. So then anyone can watch Efren play, and you can be assured that he's not moving straight into his shots. He's not in a target shooting stance. Efren Reyes is sweeping into his shots. Let's just take a little bit more of a look at these shots just from an analytical point of view. If I'm going to do a right sweep on this ball from a mechanical full circle type perspective, there's my 15. I'm going to go right in here and I'm going to establish my 15, and then my cue is out to the pivoted to the left, and my backhand is out here to the right. My back arm is out to the right. So Efren, from my observations and from what this individual could share with me, there was not a mechanical pivoting going on, but there would have been a disguised pivot to occur. So as the right sweep occurs, this cue comes out here. So this cue is across my face at this point. The cue goes across my face. So watch that. It goes across my face. I'm not aiming 100% down the cue. If I were doing that, it would be like this. That's target shooting. Efren's not target shooting. That cue is going out so that it slightly goes across his face. Now, for the left cut, instead of throwing the cue out to the right, the cue was pulled into the side, which that is the pivoted position. That's the end result of a full circle or just a manual CTE pivot. So here's my 15. Now the cue pulls into my side right here. The cue pulls into my side. Now, when Efren was shooting this shot, his foot was angling this way. This was very important to Efren at the time that he was doing that. My student was watching Efren just very meticulously, deliberately placing his feet. So he would turn into the shot, hand would pull into the side, and this foot, this left foot, was here, parallel with this. So there was a lot of little details going on that my student observed and was able to relay to me, and I took down every note that I possibly could. So once again, when I turn into this shot and I pull this cue into my side, I have an angled cue across my face. Perhaps you can see it, perhaps you can't. This is an angled cue. This is a straight traditional cue. This is not what Efren is doing. This is not what Bustamante is doing. From my perspective, in my opinion, they're playing with an angled cue. That means that cue is slightly across their face in some way. I think this actually happens with most players. I think many players today that you can observe are going to have this cue in a slight angle across their face, so they're not looking down the cue. Why is that? Because that's what your visual and physical intelligence that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make you as efficiently they're trying to make you as efficient as possible at this table for pocketing balls and connecting with the angles, and that's what's going to happen. The target shooting is a tough deal. Efren is not lining up on these shots looking straight down the cue past the contact point. There's a huge advantage on this shot to angling your cue, in that when I angle my cue for this shot, I'm getting to aim my tip at more of the object ball, whereas if I did traditional aiming on this shot, my tip is starting to get away from the object ball. I'm aiming away from the contact point. So when I do the angled pivoted, disguised pivot, then the cue's angled this way and my head is looking this way. So I posed this question in another video. Could it be that the professional players are angling their cues? Is this the evolution that they go through in order to play at a high level, at a high consistent level, versus the target shooting? You know, could it be that you're trying to target shoot and learn this game, and really the correct way to do it is to allow the natural evolution to occur to where your cue's slightly angled? You know, this is something that you have to experiment with. You know, this is the advanced aspects of center to edge aiming. You know, it doesn't even remotely bother me to think that a top player can play with their cue slightly angled and with a pivoted cue, or to have a couple of positions with their arm. So this arm position here is to the inside. This arm position here is to the outside. This is something you can experiment around with a little bit. It's at the advanced end of CTE, but certainly you can emulate what's occurring here, and you know, possibly you'll make a connection. And then you can go back and take a look at the very basics and the foundation of all this and work your way into doing this in a consistent, purposeful, you know, understandable manner. Center to edge is not, it's not difficult. What you're looking at is a professional system, a professional approach to playing this game. And it's all described, it's all defined. That's been my whole purpose in this. So it's not some ghost ball type thing that can be taught in just a few minutes. That's, you know, that's very amateurish. I mean, this is a professional approach to playing the game. Most of the people that I work with are serious, and they want to go to the highest level of what their ability and what their potential can allow them to do. So in order for that to happen, and from my perspective, then I share with them this highly effective professional approach for playing the game. So, you know, take a look at Efren the next time you watch him play. You're going to see him do right sweeps and left sweeps. You're going to see many of the players, in fact most of the players, most all of the players, doing these left and right sweeps. Now, that's going to mean one of two things. They're going to be approaching, after they do the sweep, they're going to be aimed up in a traditional manner, which I doubt, or they're going to have the cue slightly angled across their face, which is the perception that gives them the green light. That's what I can tell you is this perception that I'm talking about is an awesome perception versus the one where you're trying to guess at how far to aim past the contact point in traditional aiming. Thank you very much for your interest in this series of videos where I'm sharing just some of the finer points and the details of my knowledge as it has unfolded itself to me. So I'm just sharing with you, you know, knowledge, details of what can result as you use this system. Thank you very much.